Hi, folks. This is Dave Workman with another edition of the Cass County COVID Heroes. Today is someone who has an impact on so many of our lives and will have a big impact coming in 2021. It's Mr. Greg Toth, and he will be and is the new LMU superintendent. And so I invited Greg today to talk a little bit about his background, what he sees as his responsibilities as superintendent of LMU, and maybe some of the projects and maybe some of the vision for the future. So Greg, welcome to the community. It's so nice to have you here. Could you maybe fill us in a little bit about your background, your family, so on and so forth, and how you got here?
Sure. Hi, Dave. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, it's been a month that I've been here, kind of officially. I started the first day of November.
Okay.
And everybody's made me feel so welcome. The community has just been fabulous. The civic leaders have been fabulous. The city employees, the folks here at LMU have been so supportive, and the community's been supportive. Everybody's so proud of Logansport. The people that live here stay here, and they do it for a reason, and I can see what it is. I see revitalization, I see regentrification. And this is a community that knows where it was and where it's been and the struggles it's had, but they also see where the future lies. And I see a lot of people pulling it in the right direction. And frankly, that's what convinced me to come. The people just sucked me in, and they were so excited to show me their city and what it is and what it's going to be. And I wanted to be a part of that. So I've come 25 years in the utility industry, kind of bouncing around in that sector, different aspects of that business. Started out early with Duquesne Light and First Energy out of Ohio and in the Midwest. Went to Hawaii Gas because if Hawaii Gas calls you, why wouldn't you go there? Let's be honest. I was in Cleveland at the time. It was the snowiest February in history. And Hawaii Gas called and said, hey, how would you like to be a vice president here? So, and then from there to Golden, Colorado, and got into the gas sector. And so I had seen electric and gas and had been an entrepreneur in that space as well. And came across the opportunity in Logansport, started speaking to some of the board members, and I didn't need to be convinced. But it is a long way. I moved from Maryland, just outside the DC market. And my wife and I wanted to get back to the Midwest. I'm from Ohio. Her family is in Muncie and Carmel and Lafayette. My parents and family are in Columbus, Ohio. So this is kind of like coming home for us. And what's interesting, obviously the distances, but we're just close enough, Dave, right? They can't really come unannounced, right? But they can come on a scheduled visit. So, I think we found the perfect location.
That's great. That's great. I tell you, the stars aligned for you.
Yeah.
So you're married.
Yes.
That's right. And well, welcome to your wife. Have you guys been able to find a home and get settled?
No. So it's a very hot housing market here.
Yes, it is.
It is a booming community, and we're not finding many things for sale. When they do come up for sale, they sell in a day or two. And so we're on it. Now we have a great place that we're renting, and I'm very comfortable with that. My wife is in the DC area back home, getting our house ready for sale. So we're going to try to align all of those things at the beginning of the year. 2 daughters, 20 and 24. My 24-year-old just got engaged.
Congratulations.
I know, right? Do they ever come off payroll, Dave? Everyone says no, but
once a daughter dad, always a daughter dad. Right. I mean, it's just that way. So congratulations. That's great. What a great time in your life.
Yeah.
Where does she live?
They're right now in the DC market, but they're going to North Carolina. That's where they're going to get married, and that's where they're going to live.
Okay.
And so the stars are kind of aligning. And then my youngest is going to be, she's a junior, and then next year she'll be a senior at Towson University outside Baltimore.
Sure.
So we're moving her with us, sort of, right? We're sending her to school out of state like lots of parents do. So Dave, do the math there. It was 2 daughters and my wife, and now she's coming to Logansport with nobody but our 2 dogs.
Right.
And so, there's lots of discussions about us, becoming empty nesters and what that's going to look like and feel like. So a new job, new city, new location, but we're kind of coming home to other family members. And so I think that makes it a little easier for her to kind of let some of those chicks fly from the nest a little bit.
I tell you, one thing you can't fake, Greg, is enthusiasm. And that's what I hear in your voice.
Yeah.
And it is so encouraging to see people like yourself that are coming here and thinking that Logansport is headed in the right direction. Because I think we are. And I think maybe 10, 20 years ago, there was a real negative perception by people here.
Yeah.
But I think that's just changed. And you've hit so many of the highlights of it, which is really amazing with your background from where you've been. So tell me, what do you see as kind of your responsibilities as the superintendent? What would you say that is, Greg?
Yeah, it's the big three to start with, right? It's safety, it's public safety, it's employee safety, it's reliability, right? We are obligated to provide reliable service, safe drinking water, safe sewer and storm water, and reliable electricity. And then ultimately it's fiscal responsibility, right? It's my fiscal responsibility to the ratepayers of the community. So I start with safety, reliability, and fiscal responsibility. And then you can start getting into other things that you think should happen or could happen. The Utility Services Board had a vision on the kind of things they wanted to move forward with. And there's great staff people here to help me with all that, but we'll see some interesting changes. My philosophy is, and I've got Scrabble pieces on my desk that say ETDBW, easy to do business with. And my goal is to really make the utility as easy to do business with as you can think of. Now, what's that mean? Sure, that means a customer coming in and having 5 different ways to pay a bill, 5 different ways to view a bill, to know their consumption levels, to be able to get on a payment plan, to easily turn on and turn off service. Those are things that make us easy to do business with. But put that in the context of the city and the community. Easy to do business with is site selection process with the economic development group here in the city and saying, here's where we have access to power and to water. Can we lure businesses to come into the community using the utility as one of the foundations to that? And so that's being easy to do business with. And then of course it's also our employees, right? As superintendent and as our management team, our employees, we have to be easy to do business with at that level as well. So that's my philosophy on how to run a utility company. How we get there, we'll see some new changes. We're putting in a brand new state-of-the-art software program, customer service program. It had been started. The city is going to come along with us. I'm just picking it up in the early stages, but I'm gonna run with it and get it over the finish line in 2021. And we should see some new looking utility bills and some other things, and will certainly be a little easier to do business with. But that's going to be a major change. And then there's other things coming down the pike as well that we've got budgeted that we're anticipating. I know you've heard people talk about automatic meter reading. That's on our horizon. That's going to give people consumption data and make it easier for us and more accurate ways for us to read bills safely and accurately. And it's also going to give people a lot more data, a lot more information. How do I compare it to my neighbors for energy consumption? Leak protection. Well, what's that mean? Well, we'll be able to tell from 1 month to the next if your toilet's running because we can see your water consumption month over month. And do a comparison with it. We can see their water consumption now, but we don't necessarily have the tools to be able to compare it to last month or last year at the same time. But automatic meter reading on top of the software program, the customer software program, will allow us to put all that together and kind of be proactive for people.
That's great. What would you say, Greg, is an obstacle or are some obstacles as we move forward into 2021 for Logansport in regards to your position?
Yeah, it's been every city this size through the Midwest has seen a roller coaster of economic, highs and lows. And, you get judged on how you pull yourself out of that and how badly it hits you. So of course, COVID has had a huge negative impact on just about every community. I don't feel it as strong here as I see it in other places around the country. So I see some opportunity to bounce back quicker than other communities and be a little more reactive to what's coming down economically as for opportunities. You know, we've got a great young mayor, we've got a great city council, I've got a great utility services board. There's lots of communities out there looking at ways to bring in new business and get more people to live here. And I think that's the kind of things we have to pursue. We have to go hard at those things. We want as many people to live here. We want them to take advantage of the schools and the hospital and the parks and all the things that we have. But I think you have to make them aware of that. And how are they aware? And I think that's one of our challenges is they need to find what I found. And that can be hard for businesses and new residents wanting to come here. You know, the website's interesting and our website's going to get updated so we can share a lot more information, but you know, we need to lure them in. And I think we can do that. And I think it's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. And I look forward to being a part of it.
You know, it's amazing what you've been able to glean in the last 6 weeks or whatever, because we're doing this about December 9th, I think it is.
Yeah. You know, I going forward, I think you have to be open-minded to these things too. And we've been doing things, we run a very successful utility. For the city of Logansport to have its own gas, water, and wastewater facilities and utilities it really is something that the whole community be credited for, because they could have easily signed up with a major utility neighbor and said, you take care of all this. But then you lose local control, right? So, you know, rate cases are not necessarily you don't have a lot of say in that. You don't have a lot of influence. Everybody that works at LMU works here in the community and lives here. So when you see our linemen, when you see the guys working on a street repair, when you see us putting in new sewer line with the major project here in town, you know, sure, we sometimes use outside contractors for the big things, but when you see those guys in the trucks, they're us. They're local Logansport citizens, you know, working for other citizens, and I think that means a lot. And you would lose that with you know, another large conglomerate, you know, wrapping or picking up all the utilities in the area and saying, okay, we're going to run this as a larger company. This allows us to keep local control. I know everybody who's out there. I know what they're doing every day. I know their names. I'm learning their names. I don't know them all yet. I'm learning their names. But, you know, those are our folks. They're your neighbors. They're the folks you went to school with, and they're here to help you. And, you know, I see about half of our population still likes to come in the front door here at the city building and pay their bill. And I know the reason why. They do that because they want to say hello to the customer service folks. They see other people they know. It's a beautiful building to come into. They like to pay their bill. They say hello. They chat for a couple minutes. I get it. You know, you just don't see that in a lot of places. And that's just that local flair. And it's you know, the people of Logansport serving the people of Logansport.
That's fantastic. I mean, I'm a small business owner. The local aspect of it is so important. I mean, it's what we have to offer. So, Greg, I am so thankful. Folks, I want to tell you something. Greg and I wrestled with the internet to get this interview going. We wrestled with it. And I would have probably blamed it on some electrical thing, but I know who I was dealing with. So, Greg, welcome to the community, you and your wife. Just couldn't be happier. I've had nothing but so much respect for your predecessor, Mr. Hartman.
Yes,
I look forward, you know, I'm happy for him going into retirement, he and his wife, and just so thankful that you're part of the community now. Folks, please feel free to email me if you have any questions on your financial matters, and I look forward to talking to you next time on Cass County COVID Heroes. Thanks so much. Thanks again, Greg. Fantastic.
Thanks, Dave.